We're meaning to do a vid to show you guys the diff that I've had to hurriedly get back into my Kiwi, but instead we're going on track in a couple of days, so I thought I'd give you a bit of a look at how we corner weight it. I'm lucky enough to have scales, so seeing as I've changed the springs in the back again, and I've also changed the front ones, I'll see if I can give you a bit of a look under here. I've just been adjusting the heights on the coilover, which you won't be able to see from here. No, you can't really. Anywho's, I'll give you a better shot another time. You've probably seen these with the wheels off. I was more going to show you how you calculate these things and how it works, which is a tad tricky to get your head around, but I've got it pretty even. I've saved a bit of weight going to the aluminium diff head, so we'll put all the wheels in here. So our total weight's 1506 now, which is down nearly 17 kilos overall, mostly out of the back, of course. So when we want to corner weight these things, we've got to do it diagonally. It's pretty hard to set up. I've also I'm lucky enough to have some weight, so I've put 90 kilos of lead shot sacks in my seat to cover me, and what we're trying to do is get the diagonal weight right. So the tricky part of it is that the rear right wheel is always going to be heavy on this car. I can only change that by adding weight somewhere else, which I'm not really up to that yet. So what we try and do is get diagonally right. As you can see, we've got 50% of the weight, 700. Well, I'm probably confusing that issue. Let's look across the front first. 820 kilo. One wheel here, 411, 408. Very close at the front. Close enough for us. 330 on the left rear, 450. So there's a 20 kilo difference between the back, and diagonally that makes the difference. There, which I'd rather have this wheel loaded more, because it would be more beneficial to my cornering, but and also the thing trying to slide every time you put your boot up it. But anywho, we've managed just by, when I started, the front wheel here was heavy, and I've unloaded about a turn and a half out of it and got the front even, and that's really probably the best I'm going to be able to do. So having these fronts reasonably even at 4, 10, 12, 11 to 408, I mean, it's within a couple of kilos. Even if I lean on this, you'll see I'm just pushing lightly on that, puts 10 kilos into that wheel, so having a couple of kgs different there, pretty good. So we're going to lock it all up at that, jam all the nuts, get it off the scales. The diff seems to be running fine. I've had it up on the blocks running, and there's no extra noises. I've gone back to the side pipes just to get rid of the smell that's stuck to everything under that car, and the noise doesn't seem to be any worse really. I've got my driving test in 2 weeks, but I'm hoping to head up to Winton on Friday, and it's meant to be a whir of a storm and lightning up there, so we'll see how we go. I might go to the dyno yet and see if we can get some power numbers and do a bit more tuning on this here engine. But yeah, we'll decide on the day, because if it's going to be a wash, I'm not driving 2.5 hours to go and skid off and crash the thing a couple of weeks before I need it to do my driving test. So anyway, I'll keep you updated on how that goes at Winton, and it's a little bit of corner scales if you ever get the chance to get your hands on any. They're reasonably expensive. Luckily I have these they have 2 sets of these at work. These are the old crap ones, and they've got some very flash new ones that will weigh the heavy vehicles that we work on. So yeah, I'm able to bring these home for the night, but she's going on 11, so I'm going to pack all this up, get it back in the car to take back to work, and see how we go. Hopefully it'll turn. Righto, cheers.